Hey, StarCrafters, Wookie here. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to Xel'naga Caverns. This is a game that was sent in by a viewer of the channel, so thank you, Kitten. Kitten is the viewer of the channel. And if you happen to see Pixel Slayer in the comment thread, that is Kitten. And he or she, I don't know, sent me 3 games when I started playing Zerg, or shortly after I started playing Zerg, as kind of check these out, show you a little bit about what's going on. You know, had some comments in the email as well to help me, to explain what the games are doing or whatever. And I thought I would cast this one because it turned out to be kind of interesting. Opponent is BrightMan EXE. We're gonna go with BrightMan. And I've watched this replay already because it was sent in as kind of a, hey, here's a Zerg game to look at to kind of help you out. So I watched it, and I've noted some timings, like getting it to 17 of 18 with the pool down, making some Zerglings, getting the extractor down. Didn't go for super fast metabolic boost. Put a spine crawler down to clear up some space. Looking for either a larva inject or a tumor there. There's a larva inject, and the production tab is on. So look at how surprised BrightMan is. He was shocked to see that Overlord. I was honestly concerned for him. He looked so terrified. We see an Overlord spotting here, and one thing Kitten does really well in this game is spot the additional expansions. Now BrightMan is saying, no, I suck, and you gotta wonder, like, okay, let me move this top corner off into the darkness here so we can see he's pretty low on supply, floating a lot of money. So you gotta wonder, I mean, does he suck, or is he like doing something that's genius level? Well, we've got no add-ons here, no add-ons here, working on a reactor there, getting double engineering bays. Something tells me he's up to something. Even, and he definitely is, because I've seen this before, but even the first time I watched this, I wondered, what the heck is this guy up to? And we see that Kitten took an expansion at about 19-20 food supply, made a roach warren, and is now using roaches. And we've already got a couple of Vikings on the field for BrightMan, so it looks like his plan was straight to Vikings. There's 2 more. We're going to have a little bit of an assault on the ramp here, and the Zerglings that are in range of the bunker get out of the way while the roaches burn that down. But then we've got a couple of Vikings, now 4, that just go on this murderous Overlord killing spree. They've got they're running around with their sharp little needles, popping all those balloons. And 2 Queens is doing a good job. I mean, not the best control here, but how many Overlords has he killed? Oh my goodness. So now Kitten is stuck at 40 of 20 supply, and that is one of the most frustrating things ever. So what we're going to see Kitten do here is, laugh at me. Thank you. I hate when people lull at you. I think he's actually laughing because what he's doing is kind of silly. But just watch how effective it becomes. We've got these roaches piling in, gonna burn through these Marines. He only made like 4 Marines total, I think. And look at what Kitten does. Kitten is so mad about the popping of the Overlords that he goes directly for the supply depots. And then, Vikings are kind of annoying because they have guns. I mean, are they as cool as Marines on the ground? I don't know that they are. Weapon speed 1, range 6, damage 12. So I mean, they're not terrible on the ground. And then he gets the Queens dead, so up into the air they go. Now the roaches can't do anything, and we're popping more Overlords. So frustrating. And look how fast they come in. There's 2 more, 2 more, 2 more. Not real high on supply. Oh, maybe I should find out where the action is. But look at how vulnerable these Overlords are, because he killed the Queens. And now that he's got some spore crawlers up, Kitten is doing better, because he can try to keep but the Overlords are so slow you can't really get them around there. You really need 2 or 3. So he's down to being supply capped again. He can only make overlords, and meanwhile we've got Vikings out here camping their spawn locations. How many first-person shooters have you played where you camp spawn locations? Look at that. What a jerk. Oh, that's so frustrating. And then they land where they're safe, and do. So now the roaches come in, and now they jump up, and now they jump down, and they jump up, and they play the leapfrog game, or the jumping jack game, whatever it's called. And finally some spore colonies down there, crawlers rather. But look, they can get on the ground and take them out. Where are the roaches? So the roaches went up here, the roaches in the ground army, to try to do some damage. And, forced to lift off, whatever. But now you got to be back here because these things can be ground or air. What jerks. So let's see how Kitten responds to this. Oh yeah, he's going to respond by continuing to make overlords, so he actually has supply room. And then, oh, the Vikings are going to land. Da-da-da. Now roaches are better than Vikings. Are the roaches getting upgrades? No. Are the Vikings upgraded? No. But the roaches beat the Vikings on the ground, and that was a well-placed spore crawler because the Vikings had to run way over here before they could pop up. And we've got some Zerglings doing some picking and poking and doing some damage, but OP mules have been activated. But yeah, all the SCVs except like this one have been stripped out by the Zergling run-bys and the counterattacks. So now it is down to making drones, and we see our Terran player is at only 18 supply, so he's significantly behind, but has done some pretty interesting things. Now we had a SCV. We're getting a repair job on these, banging the dents out and using some Bondo. You can save a lot of minerals if you just go to the hardware store and try to find a color that's real similar or like real close to the color of the Vikings instead of going back to the shop for custom paint. But so now the Vikings are all healed up, and I don't know what whoa, that was weird. Easy there, clicky finger guy. The guy had a little spasm or something, having a seizure, it looked like. And here we've got Kitten pushing out with the roaches finally. BrightMan is calling for the go-go. And he's still only mining with mules. Look how those mules go. And we got the roaches on the ramp. And we will see if BrightMan builds anything other than Vikings. Production tab says no. No, he's not. We have a handful of roaches. That's not even a lot. That's like 10 roaches. And I think it's hilarious. I mean, it makes perfect sense in this case that he snipes the supply depot, but we'll see what he goes for now. Vikings are just going to hang out in the air. Roaches aren't going to do anything about it. But he can force them to the ground. Do the roaches have any upgrades? The roaches aren't even upgraded. The Vikings aren't upgraded. They blow up my overlords. I get your supply depots, BrightMan. How do you like it? So BrightMan won't be making any more Vikings. 1, because he has no supply. 2, because he's not mining. 3, because I think he has enough Vikings. And we've got some spore crawlers and queens back up, so the Vikings are not going to be super effective in the air. But I think we're going to see them land here, if I recall correctly, and they're just going to run through here, and that is just, that sucks so bad. I mean, I've been playing Zerg, and by the way, for an update on the way I've been playing Zerg, I did get some non-Zerg opponents recently, like just tonight even I was playing, and I got beat a lot, and I was actually getting players who were like top 8 bronze. Little roach micro there, a little burrow, regen, try to suck them into the spore colonies there, and or crawlers rather, and then go after them. Look at that, getting some mutos. Now we can get you in the air and on the ground. Haha, reap it, Murphy. But I got just beaten mercilessly by, I was getting top 8 bronze players, and they would be labeled as slightly favored. So I'm playing top 8s. I'm still mid-silver, and I'm getting top 8 bronzes who are slightly favored against me, and like every Terran opponent I played apparently watches Total Biscuit play, because it was Blue Flame Hellions and Thors and Banshees just all night long. It sucked. I finally, actually the last game I played, I beat a Terran, who did exactly that. Blue Flame Hellions and Marauders and Thors, and I finally managed to pull it off because I just started making roaches. I mean, just right away. It was like roaches, 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 without even scouting. And the game was 37. I have taken most of my games recently into the 30-minute mark or more, so I think that's an improvement. Like even a couple of ZVZs ended up going pretty long. Vikings suck. And it's Kitten, not that I'm ignoring your game, but we can see what's going to happen here. It looks like BrightMan and his little Viking play have finally been solved. He was able to do a lot of damage and pop a lot of overlords. Very frustrating for a Zerg player. I've had this happen with Stalker squads and whatnot. There's the last of the Vikings going down. And Kitten takes this, but good grief. I was talking about the expansion management. Actually, that wasn't me. That was day 9, but I bring it up because we can see what Kitten's doing here, and he has a Zergling or an Overlord here, spotting all these. That is such a good idea, and something you should do. Would like to see a tower grab, but you know, probably prowling for more Vikings right now. And you know, has had his expansion sacked, so probably just trying to get some housekeeping done. And we will speed up because if you'll notice here, BrightMan is just Tetrising his base and mining with mules. He's got very little gas. He's still on 1 refinery is all he ever claimed. Here come the Mutalisks to kill the mules, and the Vikings are trying to track down those Mutalisks. Now I think they're just circling, trying to save the SCVs. But the good game called by BrightMan, and I thought it was fun to watch. Very frustrating. I think I've said that already. Kitten calls the Vikings creative. It's possible. I would have to go back and check, but I think maybe one of them did a painting or a drawing, and there were two. There were two early in the game. Maybe it was the first 2 that came out that actually. One had a guitar and they sang a little folk song, but I think I missed it. I didn't quite have the camera on them. But there's a good game and Kitten wins. Thanks for sending them in, Kitten. Kitten sent me 3. I watched them all, and they were, you know, nice to watch games for someone who is just starting out as a Zerg player. And I think I'm making a little bit of progress, but I got to tell you, playing a 39-minute game and then losing anyway because you know the guy has this huge army and I forgot to fungal growth him or whatever, is really getting frustrated. There have been several times where I have just wanted to say, you know what, I'm playing Protoss, but I haven't done it. I have only played Zerg in Season 3, and I think I've got like 3, maybe 4 wins out of dozens of games. So I wouldn't be surprised to go back down to bronze any time now, but I'd be cool with that because I would actually be able to play people at my own level. Well, good luck, have fun in your ladder games, guys. Thanks for sending it in, Kitten. If you want to send one in, it's wookiestarcraft@gmail.com. Send them on in, and maybe it may take me a while, but hopefully I'll get them up there eventually. If you send in a group, I will generally pick one to put up there, and I will enjoy the others for myself. So thanks, guys. Wookie. See you later.